Hummingbirds and other popular colorful birds or butterflies are often called beautiful, brilliant, and even mystical. Bighorn sheep and other well-liked mammals are cute, energetic, and cuddly. But when it comes to snakes, specifically rattlesnakes and other venomous creatures, the descriptions can be very divergent. Aggressive, dangerous, slimy, and scary usually come to mind.
The list of rattlesnake myths and just snake myths in general is endless. Sure. I agree.
For Jeff Smith and Melissa Amarillo, myths, perceptions, and negative attitudes make up some of the biggest roadblocks they encounter in their quest to protect rattlesnakes and related reptiles.
Diamondback.
Amarillo and Smith are the founders of Advocates for Snake Preservation, a group that promotes conservation and coexistence with snakes.
We have a western diamondback rattlesnake that was moving across the trail. It was maybe 5 to 10 yards in front of me, and it gave just a little warning rattle, a really slow kind of tail shake, and it continued to move off into the weeds here and just coiled up at the base of this tree. That's very typical behavior for a rattlesnake. It doesn't want to be in the way. It gave me a warning that it was there, and it just got out of my way as quick as it could. All right, I'd love to see a blacktail. This is another western diamondback. So this is a female.
Amarillo believes snakes definitely need a break. They've been cast as villains or malicious animals for centuries.
A lot of us grew up with that story from the Bible of Adam and Eve, and all evil basically came from this one individual snake, or the devil looking like a snake, but the snake very much embodies evil. Most people are scared of snakes. For a lot of people, this turns into just an outright hatred, and that in many places has turned into persecuting snakes.
And this includes events such as rattlesnake roundups, which attract tourists and their money to communities across the country. The reptiles are intentionally gathered and frequently exterminated.
We don't have large festivals where people collect thousands of tigers, for instance, and kill them for entertainment and profit. But that's something that happens every year in the U.S. with rattlesnakes. We want them to be given a fair shake, if you will, for a rattlesnake.
Amarillo says rattlesnakes are not out to kill us because we are not their prey. They would never be able to eat a human being, although they can strike if you get too close, step on them, or try to handle them. Many animals will hunt rattlesnakes for food, including eagles, roadrunners, bobcats, and coyotes, and the snake tries to protect itself.
So right there is where the little cotton rat lives in here. And this is where the snakes will go, frequent these areas, to try to get the creature.
Christopher Vincent and his partner Mary Ellen Landon are also supportive of respecting snakes.
So when people are worried about snakes by their home, as long as they don't create an environment for them, they won't be right next to their house.
Vincent and Landon operate WOW Arizona, a nonprofit organization north of Tucson that focuses on getting people outside to enjoy the environment. For them, there is no good species or bad species. Rattlesnakes are just a natural part of the local landscape.
I think they all belong here. There's no deep religious or philosophical aspect, just watching how they all work together. One is prey for another, is prey for another. Taking photos of even little insects, then you blow them up and there's an insect parasitizing that.
Vincent and Landon have even named their resident rattlesnakes.
Pretty Brow Floyd, George, or Sasuza, or Cartman's our biggest favorite. He's big and fat and healthy.
The reptiles are not pets, however, and they are still treated as the wild animals that they are. Human paths are cleared for visibility, and guests are reminded to stay alert and keep their distance.
There's a healthy respect for them. They're not my friends. I don't pick them up, I don't pet them. I respect what they do, and I hope they leave me alone too.
That's a very good question.
By using science and education, Amarillo also hones in on respect, awareness, and being cautious around snakes. Don't approach them or harass them, she says, to captive audiences.
I don't want to call it licking because it doesn't feel like it, but so he's sniffing. That's what he's doing.
She's equipped with a group of non-venomous, gentle snakes that don't mind handling and rattlesnakes that remain in their enclosures. Those are for looking, not for touching.
A good rule of thumb, even though, snakes are nice, I want you guys to like snakes, I want you to appreciate snakes, but because we do live someplace where we have snakes that can potentially hurt you, and it's really painful and really expensive if it happens, if you don't know 100% sure what it is and your parents aren't there to also tell you it's okay, don't pick them up. The other thing that's different about Pipsy...
My take on snakes, if they hold them, it's good. I don't know that I want to hold them. It's okay with me. They don't bother me. I don't want one in my house. But I think it's very educational, and I think it's really good for us to learn about them, learn everything we can about them. The way she was holding them, it opened my eyes a little bit.
Advocates for snake preservation admit it isn't always an easy sell. They cannot rely on a fluffy black and white panda as a mascot, for example, or a bold vermilion flycatcher, which appears so pleasant to a lot of people. Still, the advocates take their message wherever possible, because if snakes can thrive in healthy habitats, they say, other creatures, including humans, will also do well.
I have loved snakes since I was a little kid, but for a while I worked with birds. I worked with peregrine falcons, I worked with California condors, and I came back to snakes because I thought they really needed someone. Even among scientists, snakes are not as popular to study, but snakes don't have an advocate. I know I'm not going to turn everyone into snake-obsessed crazies like me, but I think we can all respect them and appreciate them and just, let them do their thing, like every other animal that's here.